she came to Springdale when the band program was, I wouldn't say it was failing, it just wasn't moving. And she developed that program into a international level program.
She loves teaching Springdale kids. I tell everyone that doesn't know Pat, when I introduce Pat to someone, when I introduce Pat to my students, I tell her that she is their musical grandmother.
That's Pat Ellison, that's Pat Ellison, you know, gotta play your best, gotta play your best. So it was really, even at that time before I was in her band, we were trying to impress her, trying to do our best for her.
I've had the privilege to know and work with many, many phenomenal educators. Miss Ellison always stands at the top of my list. And I'll tell you why, because I know the love she had for the kids. It was never about her, and as much as she loved the music, it was never about the music either. In my view, it was, from her perspective, it was always getting those kids to give their best. She wanted to see the music in them.
How you treat them is what comes back to you. And as we grow older, we learn to hide that and disguise that. But kids aren't that way. So you're pretty well clued in as far as how they feel about you. And if you really like them, well, then it comes back.
She went above and beyond. She wasn't your normal classroom teacher, and she's passionate. She was loving, caring, and just a master teacher.
She always thought the best of the students. Even when she was chewing them out, her heart is for the kid. It always has been for the kid. And it doesn't matter if it's a kid in her, top concert ensemble or a kid, that's last year in the marching band. For her, she teaches kids to play. She teaches kids how to handle life, how to go for the best they can do. And she was never satisfied with anything less than the best.
Brian Watt was one of her students. Brent Mitchell was one of her students. Chris Shelby, So she has a big impact. They're all teaching for the district.
When you watch those guys direct, you see a little bit of Pat in each one of them. Jeremy just did his student teaching under the others were actually in her bands, but you can see her in how they teach and how they direct. It comes through them as well.
I know I'm the head director, but I would have loved to have been her assistant for 20 more years. It's just, she is a wonderful person to be around.
The most valuable, resource that I have is to call her and say, I'm having a problem with something, and she'll talk on the phone. If I'm having a problem with a piece of music, this is what you need to do. This is what I learned. And she still gets mad at me because I call her Miss Ellison. We'll call her Pat, and she gets so angry with me. But she knows it's me when I say, hello, Miss Ellison, how you doing? She goes, hi, Brian, how are you? Call me Pat. I just can't do it.
I can only point to Pat. The one thing that makes all of this, turns this whole program, and then through a number of years leads it in the right direction. That's the only thing I can point to. And how many students have had their lives changed because of the band program in Springdale being the quality that it is.
They would receive music from all over. And she came and they would sit down for hours, literally hours, listening to music, trying to find the right pieces for this program. And I remember her and Jeremy and Brian Watts sitting in the small band room and forgetting to eat dinner. They would just be so involved in listening to the music.
We didn't know what the rest of the state was doing. We were just doing our thing. We were getting a little bit better every day. And the only reason we were doing it was for the fun of getting a little bit better every day and seeing what we could do. We weren't competing against other bands. It's like watching these time-delayed photography of flowers blooming. I miss watching that growth. And I miss my growth because of them.